obviously at the moment,
Okay.
in the UK, capital taxes are lower than income taxes. And within that, there's this particular, whatever you want to call it, area of entrepreneurs relief, which is very generous at 10%. And over time, different people have devised different ways of taking advantage of that, some of which have now been shut down, but it's still there up to £1 million. Lately, there's been a lot of rhetoric, political rhetoric about capital taxes and what might happen to them in the near future. Just interested to get your take on, firstly, how real that is, and then secondly, if they're going to do something, what do you think is most likely? And then, and how if I'm a business owner right now, faced with a scenario where today I can pay 10% on the first million and 20% on pretty much everything above that, what should I be doing?
Okay. Yeah. So first of all, the actual, entrepreneurs relief, you are quite right. 10% on that first million. It's amongst the best in the world. So it's very, very low tax rates for people who are selling out businesses. Now, given COVID and the amount of money that the government have had to pump into the economy, the one thing that we can all look forward to, I can pretty much guarantee, is higher taxes, because it's got to be paid for somehow. So, I for one, am fully for that. I should say, because at the end of the day, it's been unprecedented. We've needed to bail people out, and therefore everybody's got to share the burden. So taxes are going to go up in one way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
The easiest thing for the government right now to increase by some distance is capital gains tax, and entrepreneurs relief is a capital gains tax. That's one of the things that. So I and what you tend to find as well is that when something is planned or being mooted, it starts getting fed into the media. And what have we seen over the last couple of months or so is it seems to be everywhere. Capital gains tax and entrepreneurs relief are expected to increase. It's a little bit like when we were going into lockdown, or we were going into tiers for COVID. We all knew about it weeks before it actually happened. It's because they leak it beforehand. It's like it happens with every single budget now. So obviously I'm not going to guarantee it because I'm not a politician, but I suspect that both of those taxes will increase. And interestingly, we are hearing from from experts in the area, people who are doing lots of deals, that more and more people are getting in touch with them in order to accelerate potential deals that they wanted to do. Now, when this happens, I don't know. I don't know whether it will be next tax year or the following tax year after that. As I say, if at all, but I suspect it will be sooner rather than later. In terms of what businesses should do, now that's a really difficult one to answer, because obviously that's very personal to every business and to every business owner. Now there's different trains of thought with this one, because obviously you've got to be in a position that you want to sell the business. That's the very first thing. You've got to be prepared to sell the business. But it's also bearing in mind that if you're having to pay more tax, i.e., let's just say it doubles, right? That means that therefore in order to get what you wanted before, you've got to be adding another 10% onto that sale price, which means more work for you. So it might potentially be the right idea to do it now, but again, like I say, it's a very personal decision on those businesses. And yeah, tax isn't a bad thing. It's a nice problem to have in order to pay tax. It's a very nice, it's a privileged thing to have to do to pay tax. That's the way I look at it. But yes, it's certainly in a lot of people's minds who have been considering a deal, maybe 3 or 4 years out, they're bringing it forward.
Yeah,
because of this.